All right, everyone. So here is the agenda for this month's call. We'll discuss some of the highlights from the last release, version 1.15. This is also that was also a pretty feature-packed release because we're really starting to see the community really be the main folks who are building stuff, contributing pull requests, and we the community are more really trying to kind of like manage everything and try to make sure that we review and like increase the velocity of like the issues that we're reviewing through the code base. I also want to discuss something that we just announced called Community Bounties, which we're all really excited about. Basically, this is going to expand our existing Bounties effort and allow exchanges, funds, and individuals to also post bounties, and we'll help them connect them with other developers in the community who work on them. And then finally, we'll have we have our community member Holy Roger, who has been working with Clipinagi on the orchestration module. So they demoed phase 1 a few months ago, and now Holy Roger will be able to demo orchestration module phase 2, which is I'm not going to put any pressure on him, but I think this one will be a lot more visually impressive than the previous demos. And as usual, any questions, please post them in the community calls channel, and I'll try to answer them along the way. Okay, so let's get started. Yes, so the 1.15 release highlights. So over here, am I still sharing my screen? Yes, okay, great. So last month we released version 1.15 directly from GitHub or Docker Hub, but you can also use this deploy examples repo, which uses Docker Compose to install various configurations of Hummingbot. We also posted just recaps of our last community calls here. In case you miss them, you can always find them in the release notes now. So Fada has improved the candles feed. The candles feed is the data collection feature we added last month, and so this month, so now now it's basically it's better. It's going to process more quickly and fill in the candles by rest. So this candles feed actually kind of like both collects historical candles and updates them using live data, and kind of maintains like this window that you can use to calculate technical indicators on. So it's actually quite useful for lots of different things. One of which is downloading data. So some of the new script examples we added last release are taking advantage of the candles feed component. So the download candles one is just a really simple one that just downloads data for you using the candles. And this PMM with shifted mid price script, this uses the candles to basically estimate technical indicators, and then it uses the indicators to shift the mid price in the trend in the direction of the market, and also uses the volatility that's generated by the candles feed to widen the spreads dynamically. So if you're running pure market making, I would definitely try this strategy because I think, or try this script because I think this is probably going to be a bit more intelligent than pure market making. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but I think I think this is a good example of like the types of customizations that we think will be helpful for users with Hummingbot. New connectors. We added the injective connector last release. This time CoinOff has added the perpetual connector for injective and also cleaned up a lot of issues on the spot side. So I think there's still like one or two more pull requests. So I would still actually use the development branch if you're trading on injective. But I think this connector is getting much closer to what the other CLOB sex connectors are like from a user experience standpoint. But it is decentralized, so I think that I would definitely check this out if you're looking to trade on a decentralized order book exchange. Zigzag is another new DEX in the last release. This is also an order book DEX on ZK Sync. However, this first version, because some of the API endpoints weren't kind of fully fleshed out, we only added the AMM kind of like swapping functionality. But we are working. CoinAlpha is working with Zigzag on kind of like basically on kind of like supporting the full order book functionality of Zigzag. Another community contribution was bit.com. This was built by Yan Kong, who's built a number of other perpetual connectors. So Bit is one of the newer crypto exchanges focused on perpetual features, and so that's why we added this perpetual connector for them. And then finally, one last exchange, Hotbit. This is actually a SEX. This is actually a typo. It's a central exchange connector that was added in through a community contribution as well. Thank you, Yang Chun Budezi, and all the other developers who contributed connectors in this release. And then finally, lots of updates from the community. Thank you everyone for all of these fixes. This definitely makes Hummingbot for all of these dexes and chains and sexes a lot better. So that was the main update for 1.5. This month, we're actually working on, Fede is working on the dashboard, which we mentioned in the roadmap blog post that published yesterday. The dashboard is it's a Streamlit app that you can also deploy using deploy examples, and you'll be able to basically run a bot and have a dashboard that's updating in real time concurrently. And also, we also plan to make some updates to the installation process for Docker. We have a new kind of like a simpler Docker kind of build coming out that basically gets rid of the need to switch Docker tags for various architectures. And finally, we are going to make some UX improvements to the gateway module. I think we have some ideas to add commands and change the defaults to improve the first-time user experience that people have with Gateway. So that's really it for 1.5. I'll pause there. If anyone have questions about what's in this release, feel free to post them in the community calls channel, and I'll try to answer them along the way. Okay, so next up, I want to talk about this community bounties post that we published today, because we're quite excited about this, and I think this will be a good way for both the folks in the community to earn extra bounties, and also for exchanges and trading firms and all the folks on our Dev Wanted channel to have a proper channel for getting basically connecting with developers and getting what they want actually built. So Bounty is something that we've been doing for a while already. We started the process last year, mainly for technical improvements to the Hummingbot code base. So we've been kind of like allocating bounties mainly for bug fixes, but also like larger projects like the orchestration module. So in the past, based on the past year and a half, we've paid out 68 bounties. Most of these were actually paid out in the last probably 6 months when we really ramped up the bug bounty process. So this has fixed 53 bugs and added 15 new features and exchange connectors, including some of the most widely used connectors that people use today. And we're really impressed by the fact that 32 unique developers have actually earned these bounties, showing the breadth and the depth of the Hummingbot community. And these bounties range from small ones for kind of bugs. We call P3 bugs, can be fixed in 1 or 2 hours, ranging to large ones like the one that we are paid out for the orchestration module that will be demoed after this. And so I think if you look at the total amount of HBot spent versus the impact that this has had, it's clear that we should be growing this, because I think this is proving to be effective. So we're going to call these community bounties and really open them up to the community. So what that means is, it's not just us who will be kind of creating bounties, but also other community members can work with us to kind of fund a bounty and have us manage the process of assigning a developer, making sure that developer actually executes what the acceptance criteria is, and getting that code integrated into the code base. So I just want to walk through kind of the process quickly, and here, and we look forward to kind of testing out this process with the community. So the first step in the bounty creation process is basically, usually there's like a thread that's created on Discord. So we've set up a channel called Community Bounties, where you can create a thread and just describe the kind of bounty that you may want to create. So a bounty can be open source, which means it will be merged into the official code base, or it can be private in case you have a private Hummingbot fork. Let's say you want someone to build a custom strategy for you. You may not be able to. You may not want that in the open source code base, and that's totally fine. We can also help you process those kind of bounties. As before, if it's an open source bounty, like for a new connector, it does need to go through the voting process so that the community can vote on if that should be included in the code base. But private bounties and any bounties that's targeting a bug fix do not require voting. So after the bounty sponsor kind of creates this thread in Discord, we will work with them to make sure that this bounty is scoped properly. This thread is also a chance for any devs to jump on and raise their hand and ask questions about the issue. And then afterwards, just like today, we'll basically try to kind of like make sure that the bounty is something that a dev can properly pick up and work on. And after it's approved, the bounty will have an Ethereum wallet where the sponsor can send the bounty. And the bounty can be either an HBot or other ERC20 tokens, both stable coins and also maybe like tokens from the sponsoring project. And then the final step here is we'll post the bounty on the bounties board in the open column, the same place where bounties go today. Okay, so afterwards, then we will assign the bounty to a developer. The assignation process, I think we do want to try to make this more and more democratic and transparent over time. Currently, we're kind of managing it because we evaluate the developers based on their past experience with Hummingbot, their development experience, and other factors. Overall, we will try to make sure that every developer participates. If you're good, we'll try to give you some bounties, and we'll also try to make sure that we'll try to match the skill sets with the connectors, what the work required. So after that, the dev issues a PR, and then we will review the PR for inclusion in the code base. The review process is very similar to what it is now. We run tests to evaluate the functionality, and then we conduct an engineering review to make sure the changes are consistent with the standard of other components of the code base, and that the code doesn't have like some security issue which might cause conflicts with the rest of the system. And finally, when the code is merged to development, then we will process the bounties. So the way that we're thinking about the bounties is that there's a kind of like a cost for us to kind of do all this work. So we think that if the bounty is paid in stablecoin, then 75% goes to the dev and 25% goes to the foundation. However, we do want to create an incentive for the community to use HBot token, and so our thinking is that if the bounty is an HBot, then 95% goes to the dev, and we would only keep 5%. So we're trying to find a structure that solves kind of like allows the community to actually create these bounties and trust that we'll do the work of managing the dev and getting it merged in. But we also want to make sure that that there is some incentive for HBot here. So we've created a few community bounties to start with, just to test out the process. One is to update the crypto.com connector to the latest API, and the second one is updating the Coinbase connector to the latest API. I think we're going to allocate 50K HBot bounties for both of these. So if you're interested in working on them, let Carlito know in Discord. So overall, we're really excited about this because I think of Hummingbot as, it's an open source code base, but it's really a developer community that's serving like the users at large. And so I think, to the extent that we can like almost connect the users who are not technical but may be looking for support with the folks who are technical and who can build, I think there's a lot of good stuff that we can make happen in the future. So yeah, so that's a quick intro into community bounties. If there are no questions about that, then I will hand over to Holy Roger for the demo of the orchestration module. Oh, actually, I do want to mention one thing, which is yeah, we do have other events. So this is we have like 1-2 calls every month. So the next call will be Fede is gonna do a how-to on using the kill switch and the Telegram bots to make sure that you can manage your bots remotely, and or have multiple groups managing it. So this will be a really practical, hands-on demo. I think that anyone who's using Hummingbot can benefit from. And also, we're starting to also work with community members, hosting events. Maybe it's like showcasing the strategy if you're a market maker, or if you're an exchange, you're going to showcase like some feature with Hummingbot on your exchange. So overall, if you're interested or open to it, just let us know. As long as it's Hummingbot related, I think we're open to hosting it. So so now let's move on to the orchestration module phase 2 demo.
So this I've got Hummingbot running here connected to the MQTT broker. Here is TradingView with some alerts that I've put in here. So I haven't got, what's annoying is I haven't got any actual TradingView strategies to play with. So I'm just I've made random alerts here to test with. This one, I think these are all firing, but nothing. Okay, let me change one of these alerts. So for everyone watching, this is kind of the setup of alerts on TradingView. So you make your webhook URL here. And this is all kind of in the README for Roger that. So what I've done here is I've made I've proxied this through Cloudflare. I've given it an HTTPS certificate. And now TradingView can just connect to it to send data. So things are actually coming through. It's just the alerts. Moving in the way that I'd like them to. So let's change this. There we go. So that's just sent through an alert now to start it. And now this strategy has just started. There's also alerts coming through that you can see here. That are sending a command shortcut like this. It's not, you can't make that box bigger on TradingView. So this is the topic that you send to for command shortcuts, which you can set up in your Hummingbot instance. So here I'm sending one command shortcut for spreads, just changing my spreads to 0.02. You can see that just keeps firing because this alert just keeps firing over and over again. Command shortcuts are documented in Hummingbot, but you don't really see people using them a lot. So to show you an example, so you can see here that this is the default command shortcut that's set with Hummingbot. So it's made a command called spreads, and then you can send two parameters here, is change your bid and ask thread like that. And then you're able to just control that with the trading view alert by sending these alerts to Roger that. And then you've got your basic start command. You just send it like that. There are extra parameters for start commands, which are all kind of the basic Hummingbot ones. And this one is just stopping. This is the default. This is just to show as an example. Gitboard cancellation false is the default setting. You can change that to true to not cancel orders with this command. So that's kind of how it works. Over here is the Roger that software. So let me just stop it so that you can see what happens. So because this is a web server that allows TradingView to connect to it publicly and send data, it's kind of got various Docker containers that are secured. You are using private API keys as well between you and TradingView. Hopefully, I mean, I have been kind of fairly thorough with security, but I'm sure that they could use hardening if anyone wants to. I'm welcoming if anyone to kind of look through this. But all it has access to do, depending on where the server that you're running it, all that it can do is just send prevention TradingView to your MQTT server. So if you run it on a completely separate server, then that's the only risk that you're running. And you haven't really got full access to send anything. So you start it, and it starts an internal database, the web proxy server, and Roger that. It has commands so that you can configure the HTTPS certificate to automatically get one from Let's Encrypt for whatever host name you set up. Yeah, I think that kind of covers it, Mike. I'm not sure.
Nice. Yeah.
What else I can show, really.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think we can start the AMA now. So if people have any questions about this or bounties or anything else discussed, just put them in the community college channel. If you can also, if your questions are super long, we can promote you. I have a few questions about this actually. For instance, I guess in the installation process, I guess what is the setup like in terms of getting this to run?
So I think it now is quite fairly straightforward. I have already been working through bugs today and fixes that I've made. You download it and run it, and it automatically creates its own config files, and then you can kind of stop it and adjust them to point to your own MQTT server. That's the one complicated thing that I just found today, which I'm probably going to make a script to automatically walk through it, is when you're running the MQTT broker and Roger that, both in Docker, both on the same server, due to Docker network security, there's a bit of kind of extra config that you have to do to put them both in the same Docker network so that they can talk to each other.
And so is this still the Roger that the GitHub? Is still the old one, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Do you mind posting the link?
It's still.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, this is it. This is not on. So at the moment, the MQTT is still on a separate branch because I haven't fully released it, but I think I'll do that. Yeah, it should walk you through all the setup, but it's not as complicated as it once was. So yeah, and I'm happy to help people, and any problems that people have should hopefully help them make it simpler and smoother for others.
Nice. And I guess like this is more on the trading view side. So on the trading view side, I guess I guess like I guess you didn't have an account with them. Like, did you like?
Yeah. So this, unfortunate. I'm using a paid TradingView account here. I can't remember what features you have access to on a free TradingView account.
Okay. Yeah. We'll probably test this out also ourselves, like either me or our QA team. We should also we'll try to basically see what's available in free versus paid, and try to maybe. No, honestly, I'm really excited about this orchestration module generally, because and I think we should also play around with it and try to come up with more demos like this, because I do think that it will make Hummingbot a lot more powerful for the community and doing more things, and I think in general really exposing it to more and more users outside of the initial market making community. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next month. Bye everyone.